Hello there, my name is Anthony Barocas for Stream Tech. And today I want to give you a quick introduction, if you've never used one before, to the ATEM Mini. Blackmagic makes a whole series of these little video mixers, and if you've never used one, I've heard some people can take several hours to get up to speed on these. I want to give you a quick introduction on how they work. All of these sort of work exactly the same. It's just different models you get have more additional features. I'm going to cover the basic features for just doing camera switching and some basic audio adjustment. Across the bottom here, you've got your 4 inputs plus a still and black. You've got some audio adjustments for each channel. You've got 2 other adjustments up here for your 2 mic inputs right here, your 4 camera inputs, an HDMI out, as well as Ethernet in, your webcam out if you're going to feed it to Zoom or anything, and power. This small model doesn't even have a headphone jack. That's how simple it is. You can cut between your sources, or you can do an auto transition. Lastly, there's fade to black if you're doing something that needs fade to black. These days, most everything is either live streamed or going to be edited, so I don't find this used as much. Over here, you can do various wipes. I never use them. You can mix or dip, never use it. You can change your transitions. I don't know why you want a 1-second transition, but you can. You could do picture in picture, kinda. It just puts it in the 4 corners, not really useful. And then you can turn a key on and off. I'm not really going to cover that. I'm just going to use this as a basic video switcher. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to power it up. It comes with a locking 12-volt screw thread. You can see it boots up like that. It's done. It's ready to go. Next up, we are going to hook up some video sources. I have the HDMI model. So what that means is I have 4 HDMIs. They also make an SDI model. So you have 4 SDIs as well as SDI outputs. Each of them is either HDMI or SDI. There's no model of these that has a combination, a couple HDMIs and a couple SDIs, even as useful as that would be, because, hey, I want to have my cameras on SDI, but somebody always shows up with a laptop on HDMI. It would be nice to have that flexibility. Next, we're going to take an output. We're going to put the output right here. And we're going to plug an Ethernet cable in because you control this over Ethernet if you need additional functionality, and we'll cover just a little bit of that. So I'm going to plug the Ethernet in, which is on my local area network, and that's it for the functionality. Now, if you wanted to switch cameras, you could go like this. You're switching cameras. You're done. I mean, it's been 2 minutes, and I have set up, I have connected cameras, I'm switching cameras to my output, I'm done. If the fade to black light was on, you would only see black, but I don't see black because the fade to black light is off. Let me dim down my overhead camera so you can see the brightness of the buttons themselves so you get a better idea of what's going on. Over here, you can see all my audio channels are off. So I can turn each of them on like this. I can turn each of them off like that. There's also audio follows video. So I can have this one on, that's my main microphone, and then the rest of these are on audio follows video. And then this way, if I switch to them, the audio will go on, and when I switch away, the audio will go off. So it's actually doing audio switching for you. Now, you can't see the audio levels on this device. Kind of unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. If you want to just reset the levels, there's a little reset button. Reset, reset, reset. Now they're all reset, and then you can manually turn the volume down and up just like that. Up here at the top, you've got the same capability for your 2 microphone inputs. You can turn them on. There's no audio follows video at this point, and then you can change the audio levels. That's really how easy these switchers are. I've had this up for just a couple minutes, plugged everything in, I'm switching. That's what it is. It's a video switcher. It's really not much more than that. You can do a lot in software, but at its core, these are video switchers. Not all-in-one solutions. They're not going to do titles built in. They're not going to do bring in viewer comments and things like that. This is just a switcher. This model doesn't even stream or record. Additional models have that capability. But again, I'm just talking about video switching. With the software that you can download for free from Blackmagic, use 2 software packages, ATEM Setup, and then the actual video mixing software. With ATEM Setup, it lets you see what video switcher you're going to connect to. Here you can see my Stream 4 ATEM Mini, and then back over here you can see my ATEM Mini Extreme ISO. Obviously, a lot more buttons. Not going to get into that. I'm just talking about getting you started. You can extrapolate what we're talking about here to all the other buttons. Here, the ATEM Mini is ready to go. We're going to click on this button and it's going to launch the software. There's my switcher. So you can see that as I switch the inputs, I'm switching the output. And then I can switch to auto and then do an auto transition. Right over here on the right, it is a 1 second dissolve. Let's look at my overhead. So what I'm doing here is my effect is a mix and my duration is 1 second. If I want it to be a half second dissolve, half second mix auto. And what I'm doing is I'm just saying, okay, I want to go to 3, dissolve to 3, and then I can cut for my next one. Cut, 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 cut. Oh, I want to play a video. Let's switch to auto. I'm going to do a half second dissolve, fade to my video playback. And then when I'm coming back out of video playback, fade back to 1. Now I'm going to cut, 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 cut. That's what makes this thing so powerful, is that both your cuts and your auto transitions are like that. You can switch between them to use them as needed, as opposed to having to go into a preference somewhere and set them. They're right here. I can always access my fade. I can always access my cut. And I can also change my effect and go to the different wipes or whatever if I wanted to, which I don't. I really just wanted to cover getting you up to speed and running. Down across the bottom here, there are 4 different tabs for what this can do. The next tab is your media tab. Now, what this means is when you hit the still button, what stills does this show you? Well, this is where you load the still into your ATEM Mini. If you want to browse your content via images on the desktop, you can do that and then just drag it in like this. Or you can use the built-in file browser and drill down into it this way as well. So you can go backgrounds. It'll show you your backgrounds here. The nice thing is it gives you a preview down the bottom, so then you can see that. Drag that over here. It's actually loading these stills directly into the video switcher. Now, one thing, there's this little caveat that I learned the hard way. Now, these are in the video switcher, but if you unplug it and plug it back in, they won't be there. You have to come up here to your file and save your startup state, which basically means save all this stuff. Keep it this way. Then they'll stay that way. You can see this image doesn't exactly fill. Doesn't matter. I can pick something else. That's a vertical, texture paper horizontal. You can replace them just like that. And boom, it's in there. Make sure you save your startup state, and then you're good to go. I need to note that none of the ATEM Minis allow you to store video, just stills. Continuing along the bottom, you come over here and now you've got your audio mixer on the 3rd tab. Here you can see the 4 cameras up here, and if I turn them on, you see they go red. I've got 3 of them set to audio follows video. Down the bottom, you see that indicated down here with these little buttons. You can solo, you can change your levels here. You can change your input trim, which is something you can't do from the surface of the device. From the surface of the device, if I hit the up or down buttons, you see that I'm adjusting the slider. And what I'm doing with this slider without my hand there is actually, I'm just holding this down or I'm holding this up. So if somebody's talking and it's really, really loud, you could just hit the down button right there. That sounds good. So again, very easy to figure out, very easy to understand what's going on. Up here, you've got additional capabilities using the software. Again, this is sort of advanced. You can go in, add a whole graphic equalizer. And then there's also dynamic capabilities in terms of putting on a gate, a compressor, a limiter, and all those things. Not really going to get into that. I'm talking about getting you up to speed with using these things. You can delve into those on your own, and there are lots of other videos out there covering that information. And then over here, you can see your output levels on the end. And then lastly, here is your camera tab. This is designed for Blackmagic cameras so that you can reach through the cable for certain cameras. Not all of them, that it doesn't go all the way back. For many of the cameras that are out there, you can reach through the HDMI or SDI cable and you can change the color, change the gain structure, and change the settings on the camera from the application talking to the ATEM Mini. And that can be very, very powerful if you've got a bunch of cameras. What this lets you do is it lets you expand upon just simply switching. You can give somebody else audio control. You can give another person control of the cameras to paint them, to color them, and adjust everything that's going on in the cameras. So they're focused on that. Somebody else is focused on audio. Somebody else is focused on graphics. And one person is just hitting the buttons. So now on the right here, I've got the output of my video mixer. I can switch 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm switching between my 4 inputs just like that. It's as simple as that. Plug it in, and that's your output. If you go to auto, now if I hit something, it's going to use that half-second transition that I set up. And of course, like I talked about, it's doing the audio follows video for those sources as well. And that's how simple it is to use the Blackmagic ATEM mixers. You just put it on the table, plug your stuff in, and just start tapping. When you add the computer aspect, it gives you more capabilities and ability to fine-tune what you're doing on the control surface itself. But by and large, this is one of the simplest things you could possibly use in terms of cutting your sources to an output destination. My name is Anthony Barocas for Stream Tech. Thanks for watching.